do and how they go back and forth and, and try to confuse and make things a little difficult. So, that's what Coach Belichick does well, and you got to be ready on Sunday.
Kickoff from Mercedes-Benz Stadium at 6:30. Last night, the 2019 class of the Pro Football Hall of Fame was announced. 8 new inductees headed for Canton. Ed Reed, Champ Bailey, Ty Law, Tony Gonzalez, Kevin Mawai, your modern era finalists. Johnny Robinson, your senior inductee, and contributors Gil Brandt and Pat Bolin. Elsewhere around the league, the Panthers believe that Cam Newton could be ready for training camp after he had arthroscopic shoulder surgery last month. Just 3 games in the NBA today. The Knicks host the Grizzlies. Dennis Smith Jr. and DeAndre Jordan will start for New York. Former Knick Kristaps Porzingis putting out on Instagram that Knicks fans should, quote, stay woke in response to their reaction to the trade. That game will be followed by the Celtics and Thunder from Boston and the Raptors hosting the Clippers. Golf 4th round of the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Ricky Fowler, your leader, at -20. Matt Kuchar, 4 strokes back at 16 under. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Get all of your scores on the NBC Sports Scores app.
An investigation is underway into what law enforcement is calling the premeditated theft of little blue penguins in New Zealand. Reports say 1 woman and 2 men were seen using a crowbar to take 3 of the animals last Thursday. One of the penguins died and was left behind, while a second was found dead with what looked to be head injuries the following day. Little blue penguins, the smallest penguin species, on average weigh around 2 pounds and are only about 11 inches tall. They are commonly found around the country's mainland and are protected under the country's Wildlife Act. Andrew Caravella, NBC Radio News.
Tennessee Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn hopes that there isn't another government shutdown next month.
Nobody wants the government shut down. What we want is for the Democrats to negotiate and come to a resolution on this.
Trump tweeted yesterday that they're wasting their time if they're not seriously considering money for a wall or physical barrier. Trump has threatened another shutdown or a declaration of national emergency on the southern border if he does not get several $1 billion to help build the wall. Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
Why are you listening to this radio station? Why? When you can host your own radio show. You're listening and you think you can do better? You have a message or a product you want everyone to know about. Host your own radio show. Team up with the area's best radio professionals and let them make you sound like you should be on NBC. KCAA NBC Radio, that is. KCAA produces more than 50 local programs each week on subjects ranging from business and sports to political talk, vegan diets, or even marijuana-related issues. We don't just broadcast on the radio, we broadcast to the world. Online, on TV, on social media, on Facebook. You'll be all over. Imagine what your friends will say. And KCAA reaches over 5 million people on 3 radio stations. Join the staff on 1050 AM, 102.3 FM, and 106.5 FM. NBC Radio. Jump on the KCAA Express. Call 909-793-1065. That's 909-793-1065 and get ready to transmit.
Hey Ryan, do we have any beer in the fridge?
Nah, I thought you got some.
The game starts in 5 minutes.
And you drank the last beer at midnight on Friday.
I wish there was a place that delivered beer.
Yes, I'm Captain Crafted. I'm here to bring you beer. That's Captain, C-R-A-F-T''D. Why? Because there's no E, just a D, as in deliver, because Captain Crafted delivers.
That's right, the Crafted Beer Store in Redlands is now open for business with great prices and deliveries of your favorite beer, wine, spirits, water, ice, and mixers. Did I mention their great prices? That's CRAFTDBEER store.com or Fred Crafted Beer Store on Facebook.com. Make it easy. Google Redlands Beer Delivery. Look for Crafted Beer.
Crafted Beer Store in Redlands is now open for business, and I'm here to deliver.
I'm finally getting my abs back thanks to TC1 Gel. I gained some inches around the belly last year and the holidays didn't help either. But then I discovered TC1 Gel and now 2019 is the year of my abs returning. TC1 Gel is a thermogenic gel that you rub on your waist 15 minutes before exercising. Then simply put on the TC1 sweat belt and start your workout. You'll sweat like crazy and feel the burn. It focuses on boosting circulation, increasing perspiration, activates body heat, reduces muscle fatigue, and burns off more calories calories. Get your TC1 gel now. Go to tc1gel.com and use the code RADIO30 for a 30% discount on this amazing product. Again, RADIO30 is the code for 30% off the regular low price of TC1 gel. You can also go to www.tc followed by the numeral 1 gel.com. That's TC number 1 gel.com. TC1gel.com. Get rid of a few inches and get your abs back with TC1 Gel. Also, follow them on Instagram, handle TC1 Gel.
Here we go. It is a Super Bowl Sunday. What does that mean? A big bowl of what? I don't know. Big bowl of what? Big bowler, big ballers, all of that kind of stuff. Let me be sure I'm hearing myself here. Okay, listen. We have a big issue in front of us all the time. I wish I could just holler and say, hey, let's talk about the game, or let's talk about, I don't know. Folks, forgiveness. When I was a little kid, heck, I used to poop my pants, when I was a baby, I grew out of that. I have a puppy. He poops in the house, but he's growing out of that. And I'm loving him and I'm forgiving him. And listen, what do we do if we hold people into their past actions forever? Now, okay, we've got a lot of situations where this fits in. Okay, we're in the middle of a Me Too movement, which is having its positive social moments, but at the same time, we're ignoring the fact that when people change their mind and change their actions, they often become the cutting edge of new change, positive change. We cannot go back to the civil rights movement, for instance. And I'll say that because I think that's one that 70, 80% of my listeners, you guys out there, will agree was has a positive result. We should acknowledge the fact that bad things are the reason we kind of come together. Let's go back to Martin Luther King's death. Martin Luther King, when he was killed in Memphis, the day before he was killed in Memphis, the African American community, the civil rights community, was, 50-50 on Martin Luther King. Maybe 60-40 against what he was doing. He'd kind of lost the let's be free and started talking about let's look at our money, which I thought was a good thing. But he was 50-50 in the community. But the moment he got shot, I fell 100% into his side. How could you kill the Prince of Peace? Okay. You couldn't blame every white person on the planet for that, but some folks did. What I want to remind you of is that the civil rights movement would not have been a movement were it not for white people who changed their mind and black people who changed their mind. Okay, so here we are. We've got a governor in Virginia. When he was growing up, he did some things that pretty stupid, probably as stupid as some of the things Rick and I did when we were young. Come on, Carl. You said the idea that this man was dressed up in blackface. Here's the deal. I don't know whether it was him or not. He says it was. He apologized. Then he said it wasn't. That becomes the issue. Often how people respond becomes more important than what they actually did. So here's a guy who was accused of being dressed up in blackface in a picture with somebody that was dressed in a Ku Klux Klan thing. I don't know which one they said he was. Yeah, I do. It was the one in blackface, okay? But it's just as legitimate to say, well, no, that was him in the Ku Klux Klan suit. Why? Well, because he was there, and it made me mad. Okay, we've all been mad. We've all been upset. But let me say this. We've all made someone else mad. We've all made someone else have in their mind, legitimate reason to be upset with us. But how far, I'm not talking about some guy who lives 100,000 miles away from you. I'm talking about your brother. I could be talking about your wife. Somebody that has disagreed with you or done something that you think is, throw upable. That's a new word. We could write that one down. People make us, that's what we do. We make each other sick sometimes, but we also have the capacity to make each other well. We have the capacity to make ourselves well. But if we hold on to a cancerous thought tight enough, it becomes part of us, and we become obsessed with it. Okay, I'm back to Virginia now. We've got a governor who, I've heard black folk on the radio talk about they love the guy, but we got to get rid of him. Why? Well, because 30 years ago there was a picture of him that, I'm not saying they're right or wrong. I'm saying we got to think about this. I think too often we just take an automatic reaction and it's throw upable. We throw up, but we keep throwing up. We don't unthrow up. How do you unthrow up? How do you make up for the fact that well, I don't know. Many of the reasons we threw up was because we consumed something that wasn't right. So we're consuming evil thoughts. We're wondering what to do with them. We're consuming thoughts that are negative to the progress that we want to make. Who do we blame? We blame ourselves a little bit, but we also blame the people who watched us. Who do we blame? How do we blame? You guys say you're Christians. You say you're Buddhists. You say you're Hindu. You say every element of who you say you are also has a foundation that says you can do things wrong and you can correct it by changing your attitude and not doing them anymore when given the opportunity. We call it forgiveness. We all want to be forgiven. Okay, let me go back again. I'm not saying you need to forgive this guy for wearing a black face, but I am saying he's the governor now. This guy's in charge. If I have someone who has done me wrong and I want to get some recompense, if I want to get some restitution, why would I take him out of the position of power when he can actually be in a position to make up to me, to provide me with something that will make me say, I guess it wasn't as bad. Maybe we can correct this situation. Maybe we can put some things over here on the side that is positive to me. Okay, so I got the governor. And I've got a group of people who disagree with me and disagree with the governor yesterday. And when they find out the governor has done something wrong, they pile on with me, all of a sudden agreeing with me. Get rid of this guy. He's bad for your image. He's bad for everything you're trying to do. Wait a minute. All of a sudden, the guys I've been disagreeing with are over here agreeing with me as I decide to split and argue in my family. That's the guy across the street coming in your house, Carl. Well, Carl, we heard your conversation. Well, we didn't hear all of it, but we heard enough of it to say that, we've made some decisions about how you and your wife ought to handle things. Yeah, right.
That's right.
Okay? First of all, that means, man, maybe I shouldn't argue in front of folk if I got a real issue, a real problem. Maybe I should kind of calm down and figure out what I want to do. Well, here's my point with politicians. If you don't know what you want the politician to do, why would you vote for him? Why would you sit with him? Why would you do anything? Because if you don't know what you want him to do, how can you judge what he's doing? Let me say it again. If when it's time to elect someone, if you're electing them based on their platform and not your platform, it doesn't really matter unless their platform matches your platform. But how would you know if you don't have a platform? You've got to have your desire list out before you go to the store. Otherwise, you'll come home with a bunch of crap that and you might not even come home with what you left to go get. Has it ever happened to you? Yeah, well, it's really major when it takes place at the political level. Okay, so we've got a governor that we trusted enough to run around raising hell, knocking on doors, say this is the right guy, put him in power, back him up with legislature that is in a position to do what, and we know he's going to sign. But wait a minute, our enemy tells us this guy has been talking bad about you. Listen, I'll take a break. Got to take a break. because this is starting to remind me of the signifying monkey, which is not a, which is it's appropriate because once again the monkey started lying to the lion, making him run out to beat up on the elephant who he couldn't beat up. Got his. We'll be back right after this break. I ain't through.
I never planned on losing my job, but we all know life can change in an instant. And losing my family's health insurance was an even tougher pill to swallow. So I looked into Cobra, but too pricey. Then I found out I could enroll through Covered California, where I was able to choose from good health insurance companies I've actually heard of. I even got help paying for it.
There's a limited time to qualify after losing your insurance, so check out coveredca.com today. Covered California. It's more than just health care. It's life care.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
Okay, very good. This is Empire Talks Back. I've got a conspiracy. Facebook's against me. I'm trying to go live. You can't come out of my Facebook, but you can go to Tammy Martin Riles and check her Facebook Live. Carl Guillaume is here with us. Tammy's in with us. Our friend Rick is over handling the engineering. And I'm still concerned about how we respond or don't respond, or how we pay attention or don't pay attention to what is to our true benefit as we look at what's going on around us. And I'm concerned about the governor, our response to the governor of Virginia. He's been seen, or someone has been seen, and it's been attributed to him that the photo is of him in blackface with a Ku Klux Klan guy that took place years ago. About the same time, this guy probably was doing some other stuff that he has decided was not cool to do. We all do things. Who hasn't done something that they would hate to have you bring up at this point? Now, we all have to pass a test. I understand there's a standard. But most of the time, socially, our standard is a breath test. If you got bad breath, a guy hands you a mint, or you can bear it for the next half hour and keep on going. And you can get away with someone saying, well, he never has bad breath. Because you're not around him all the time. But I tell you what, you start doing an underwear check. No, that's funny. But the point of it being funny is that it's also true. If you over-examine, you're going to find something wrong with everybody.
That's right. So then, let's get to the point. Because But wait a minute, you talking.
Hi, Tammy. How are you?
How you doing? But here's my issue.
Go ahead. Turn your mic on.
It's on.
Okay.
It's on like Donkey Kong. I don't know. Is it still not on? Okay, well, here's my issue. Number one, my issue that I have with the story is that, what is Virginia saying? Because, see, we all the way over in California.
Virginia is saying retire, resign, quit. We are ashamed and have we don't know why you did that to us, because we thought you were such a good guy. And next door to that is, well, yeah, he's been really a good guy. I love him, but he's done this thing wrong, and we've got to get rid of him. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that there's overwhelming.
So what, other than the blackface, and then in what contents was the blackface done? Because
is there a content that you approve of?
Well, I tell you what.
No, I'm just saying.
No. I'm just, you asked the question, because every time it's like, what has been, because I must say I've been underground for a week, okay? I just came back up.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I've been underground.
And your event, we should talk about that too.
Yes, but
just to be sure that
okay, just give me give me all the facts again.
Okay, the facts are that there's a picture of a governor who has been well loved by his constituency,
Uh-huh.
a picture from the past that has put his contemporary lovers of his political position in a position where they've got to say, well, you know, this guy used to be a racist. Is he still one? Well, he used to be one, and meanwhile, the opponents, the Republicans, are saying, he's still one. He used to be one. He's still one.
but
you guys, hold on. You guys need to get rid of him. And the Democrats are saying, well, we want to get rid of that congressman that's a Republican who's been making racist statements, so I guess we have to set an example and get rid of this guy. My point is what people have done way in the past, people who have been good recently for you, is their past more important, their past transgressions more important than the good things that they're doing now. And I'll say this, from the religious evangelical position, looking at how they have looked at and regarded Mr. Trump and forgiven his transgressions, we know that some people who are pretty deep in religion are able to say, listen, I understand this guy stomped on Jesus' head, but he said he was sorry. And Jesus is Jesus, by the way, who's never hurt by anybody. So, you know, what do we say? It's okay. Same thing here. We're looking at a man who had done some things in the past, possibly, because he says it wasn't him. Well, same time he says he wasn't that blackface in that picture, he did do a blackface where he was pretending to be Michael Jackson or tribute or doing a salute to Mike Jackson or whatever. Once again, here's a man that everybody has said, he's doing great for us. And we find this little thing. So my point is, where is forgiveness? Is it applicable here?
But
Do we should we, people, white, green, purple, how much should we keep this echo of the past in front of us as we are trying to move to the future? Do we accept people who changed, or do we hold them to their past?
Okay, so that's the
my
story.
question.
That's the story, and you're gonna make me go on computer and get it. So the question is, when did the blackface happen?
What those facts
When
don't
did
matter
the black?
because
Yes, it does
our
matter. When do
it's a philosophical question.
it happened in 1984? So we're talking about 16 plus 20 years.
Right.
Okay, so we're talking about 30 years. Well, the question you need to ask. Well, what question was asked to him?
See, when we get into specifics.
Okay, I'm just asking. Did they ask him the question?
But here's the thing. If we get into specifics and talk about the Rams and New England, we got a problem. But if we get in specifics and talk about football and the rules of the game, we have more of a philosophical position that is a standard that can exist regardless of the individuals that are involved. And that's what we have to come up with. We have to have a standard of attitude, standard of action, standard of response based on what's good for us, not what made us feel good or made us feel bad.
Okay.
And and how do we get to that and maintain that if we're going to respond and react based on, him wearing blackface wasn't good. Now,
my question is, what did he say when they approached him?
is there something? Oh, he initially said, it was me and I'm sorry about doing that. I don't really remember all that, but it's a terrible thing that I did and I'm sorry.
Is that what he said?
Basically.
Okay.
I'm paraphrasing because I wasn't there.
Okay.
And
then so how did they respond to him? When did he take office?
Well, they immediately after he said he did it and he was sorry, everybody got mad and started this. Not everybody. People started saying, he's got to resign. We got to get rid of him. He's got to get out of office. He then turned around and said, wait a minute. I'm not even sure that's me in that picture, and I'm not going to resign. And so there's the argument. He says it wasn't him. But however, he did remember doing something in blackface around that time, but it was a Michael Jackson dance. My point is the specifics of all of that. Is there something in the specific that would make you say, well, since he did it that way, it's okay? Or are you simply willing to say, okay, a guy who did blackface 100 years ago, who's now working for black people in a way that's positive for them, hey, we shouldn't even worry about that, regardless of his name, regardless of the performance that he made. That's what I'm saying is philosophical, as opposed to the reality of his individual case, because individually, none of us could stand the underwear test. A breath test, maybe, but an underwear test, no. So based on that, I'm saying, should we judge people so hard? Should we not follow our?
Well, who's judging them? What percentage of the people are judging?
I'm asking you. I'm not asking you to judge him. I'm asking you to judge the philosophy. Right now, I'm asking you, and you guys out there. You can call us. What is it? 909 792 5222. I'm asking, when and where do you forgive someone's past transgressions if they are working positive for you now? How do you respond to that? Is that not important? Is that not something that we should be concerned about? And I'm asking, Ms. Tammy, you may have had a student that at the beginning of the year, he was late. He didn't come to class, and when he did, he was throw-upable. But over a period of time, this young man started paying attention. He was influenced by his students, influenced by you as a great teacher. And as we move toward the end, we find that the last third of this kid's experience with you in that class, this kid's been doing A work. He's been on time. He's been, matter of fact, a leader pushing his other students to challenge and learn more. How do you grade that guy? Do you grade him on his improvement, or do you grade him on the flat line of averaging out his A's in the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks or a month against the bad work that he did for 6 months, 3 months? How do you do that?
Are you asking me a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now we're talking about aptitude instead of social tests, because let's just keep it real, all right? And here's the thing, and I think that I see what you're saying. The work someone does and their actions are two different things, Wallace. And I think when we...
No.
Wait, you asked me a question.
Can't say that and just keep going.
The work that you do and the actions that you present are in two different classes.
Okay, the work he does in class and the actions he performs outside of class? Or
it's two different things.
Well, no,
because, wait a minute.
Do you grade him on his actions outside of class?
No. You asked me a question. Let me finish. Because if he does anything outside of class, he is going to be penalized on that in a different way. He could be suspended and still have a 4.0.
See, you did the same thing that these people did.
No, I did. No, I didn't.
No, I didn't.
I haven't even answered the question of what those other people done.
Because I was pretty direct.
No, you're not. No.
the
You
things you
brought
grade him
me
on.
in as a teacher. You asked me about work.
Right.
I do not. What goes on their report card has nothing to do with their social life.
Well,
what goes on? Wait a minute.
No, I'm asking you about his work.
No,
he did F work for 3 months, he did A work for a month.
And let me tell you,
the A work was done. The last work was A
why
work.
Why would the A work not be averaged in?
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
Yeah,
I'm asking you, would you average it in?
Oh, it is going to be averaged in.
It
is going to be averaged in, but that same student could be in my room acting like a whatever, and then he could be he could be at home doing my work, getting still a B average, but yet being suspended from school. So you want me to go there? I'm going to talk about social, and I'm going to talk about the grading. Because I can have an A student in my classroom who is socially messed up and then is yet, not able to come to class because he's suspended. Now,
but those are both contemporary actions. The reason I said the first semester,
I haven't decided anything with the other case. I'm just asking for the facts of what is going on and what was said.
I'm going to take a short break. We're going to take a short break, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to tie my lips together for about 45 seconds.
Well, 45 seconds. We're going to tie them together for 10 minutes, and then we're going to see if he's going to jump out of the high seat. You better go to commercial before we lose it again. Go on to commercial.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292 FQ Riverside, and K293 CF Moreno Valley.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
All right, we're back. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. Blessed to have Tammy Martin Rouse and Carl Guillaume, who's been extremely quiet all day. And we're discussing right and wrong and forgiving and I don't want to say right and wrong, but the perception that we have about the impact of somebody who did something a long time ago that was, we would all agree, is negative, and who is now performing at a positive level, making contributions that we all would accept and say, hey, those are good things. So, and I'm using the example of a governor in Virginia now who is accused of wearing blackface some 20 years ago and has since been so loved and performing in a way that black people like him so much, they have elected him and they've embraced him, and I hear them crying about this incident, saying that they love him and hate that that happened and that he needs to quit, needs to resign. I'm wondering, where do we put people who have been doing things in the past wrong and making amends for them, and do we hurt ourselves or hurt them more by getting rid of them? And here was my main question about the governor. He's finally in a position to do things that are good and helpful. Mm-hmm. Do we want to replace him with someone that we don't know how they would respond? And that's the question. And I promised that I was going to be quiet for at least 45 seconds, and the clock is going, and I'm going to do better than that. Go on. You and Carl,
I'm all scratchy.
Respond to that, and let's see if I'm totally off base.
Well, first of all, Carl, remember before you answer that, he done stated about his question, so go ahead.
Okay, well, a lot of feedback.
Can you hear me over here?
Hello? Testing. Okay. A lot of this has been happening a lot lately, just a lot. It's almost to the point where it's uncomfortable, but I think that this is good that it's happening because it opens that dialogue for all of us to be talking about it today. Because if we don't talk about it, then nothing will happen. For this man's stuff to come out, it's unfortunate, right? However, it opens that dialogue and we can fix it. I don't know too much of this man's past, but I have seen this floating around on the internet with him posing in blackface and next to somebody in Ku Klux Klan apparel. However, now is the time for us to step up as a nation and start talking. Get this man in a room to where we all can talk with him and open that dialogue, because, again, just like Mr. Wallace said, we've all done something in our past that, we don't want to be out there. However, if we don't discuss it with others and find out a way to make it better, then it'll never get better. Right now, this country's in a state to where we need a fix. We need to heal right now. And for us having this dialogue, this is great, because whatever this man did in the past, it's in the past. I don't know what he's doing currently to make amends, but we need to take care of this right now and put him in front of the people that, and not only in front of the people, because we have to think of it, we have to look at it like this. These are the people that's making laws for all of our children. It doesn't matter what nationality your children are, it's for all of our children. This is the greatest country in the world. I mean, my family comes from Haiti, so I've been there and I've seen the difference. And I know, and I've been to other countries, and I know this is the best country in the world. So we have to work on those little things right now. We're dealing with this stuff. We're dealing with a lot of the racism that's going on. We can turn a blind eye to it, but it's every day. In my lifetime, I have not seen as much racism as I've had today. I have not. And this is the perfect time for us to have this discussion, move forward as a country. And if this man is doing right now, then, embrace him. If not, then you got to go.
Miss Timmy.
You want to let me jump in?
Oh, please.
Okay, well.
Let you jump in like I'm
Yeah. Oh, no.
Now,
Well, Wallace.
Now, if I didn't answer that correctly, somebody be saying, "Oh,
I don't.
He's a sexist in there. He won't let Tammy talk."
Can you hear me? It's the scratching.
Yeah, there is a.
Well, here's the issue. You throw up an interesting point. Okay, you throw up an interesting point, but here at the same time in the business world, well, there's what you call redlining and the systemic system of things going on. We're on the outside. We're out taking pictures, we're smiling, and then we're still being redlined. So when you say, oh, well, look at what this person's done in the past, I didn't say don't support. I say, no, we need to get a microscope and we need to look at. Because, you know, who are the people that's sitting up here saying that this man is doing all these great things? Is it because you got your hand in my pocket and you giving me something? But then what's being taken on the other end? Because the system that I see is still a redlining system. Wait a minute. A redlining system where, number one, African Americans are at the bottom of getting every single solitary thing. But yet, we are the first to jump in pictures. We are the first to defend. We are the first to sit up here and talk all of this mumbo jumbo stuff. Oh, he's so good to me. Oh, okay, great. Well, then tell me why your business or this is not getting approved. Well, tell me why this. So what's going on the back end? Can I keep you happy on the front end so I can take care of the back end? No, I have to look 360 degrees. It's about, you're right, it's about education. But what are we educating? And I'm not here to feel fuzzy and warm. So yeah, let's get them in the room and say, what the heck's going on? Right. What team, wait a minute. What team are you really on? So let's see your records. Let's pull everything from the back. And so then we can now evaluate, oh, okay, this was your past. Well, let me see how you have made amends to make everything right on the 360 degree, not just feeding a few people's pockets so that I could get like my little cherry time in the air and say, oh, he's so great. Oh, he's so great. Why? Because you made 500 people feel good?
I gave him $500, right? Good. Now, you mentioned redlining, and I want to take a historical moment to go back and remind people that redlining is a term that came up because of the GI Bill. The GI Bill was one that created housing, affordable housing for those who came back from World War II and the Korean War. And what occurred was the GI Bill not only provided access to education, it also provided a no down payment circumstance for people from the military to purchase a house. Oh, I'm sorry, unless you were black. If you were black, this no down payment thing didn't work. And this is where the term red line came in, because a red line was created around neighborhoods that were going to be using this GI Bill. And if you weren't in that red line, or if you were redlined out, you were redlined out if you were black, and you were redlined in if you were white. So this is where this red line term comes from. If you're white, you're redlined in. If you're black, you're redlined out. So as we look at terms, and Carl, I think you made a tremendous point about our legislatures are the ones who make the laws that we all have to live by. And Tammy, you made I think an excellent point as how do we judge people? Do we go all the way back to their past and be sure they're on the team, or at what point can we acknowledge they are on our team? Is that because of what they say, or is that because of the standards that we as a people, voters, community create and say, this is what's going to be good for us, and if it's not in this pile, then that's not what we do. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, we because I think Wallace, there's like 3 different ways we can look at this thing, and the first thing is we can look at it on the emotional state, which I think that probably the majority of us look on is emotional.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we can look at this from a business aspect, or we can look at it from, I call it the holistic environmental aspect. So, I always go to that environmental. But what I'm saying, when we look at it from the business aspect, we have to say, okay, all right, here's what has happened. Let's check the record. and let's see, what does the record reflect? Does the record reflect fairness? Does it reflect progressiveness? Or can we go and look to where, this guy is in office and he's making a lot of people feel emotionally good, but what has he really done? You see what I'm saying? Who has he really partnered with? Who has he really helped? And I think that's what you need to be looking at. And then,
I think those are strong philosophical points that fit any circumstance and situation. And that's where we need to go. We should, I think, not get caught up on the specifics and particulars. It's not, we have to use our brain, think critically, understand that when we're saying something, we're trying to define what's going to be beneficial to our household, our neighborhood, our community, our city, our state. We have to think first about what is it that we want. And then as I sit down and talk to you and Carl, what do you want? And within that desire list, there's going to be some things that we agree about and some things we disagree about. How we make the decision to follow through is what we call, I guess, our level of administration, cooperation, civilization. But it's something that we all have to work with. And as we look at our country, we have one set of standards that we tend to operate by. And then as we look at other countries, we say we have other standards that we expect people to operate by. This is why we're so shocked when we have a president who says, no, Russia is not our number one enemy. It's our number one friend. When all the time it's been preached and taught to us that Russia is our apex enemy, our number one consideration, or communism, or China, or something that's against freedom. We have to make decisions for change, because the only way change is going to occur is if we make a change. And we have to change where, and what can you change? The only thing you really have authority over is your own personal attitude. So how do we push those things together so that we can cooperate? Tammy, you just had an experience, we all had an experience, all of those who are on your team, with the Super Expo that was planned for yesterday.
Yeah.
A rainy day, but when you planned it, you weren't planning a rainy day.
We planned it in September.
Yeah, and people, I'm sure there were people over the last week who maybe gave you a call, Tammy, it's going to be raining, what are you going to do? And the weatherman said it's going to be raining, what are you going to do? You had to make a decision, but your decision had to be based on something actual. When I talked to you yesterday, you said, well, I could have canceled it Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, but we all have positive thoughts. We were hoping that it wasn't going to be raining. We hoped that maybe
forecast changes.
Right. And as such, we wait as long as we possibly can before we make that change. Tammy, you made a change. You changed it from yesterday to next Sunday.
Yeah.
The first thing that we worry about is, the people who are committed to come be involved. And you actually had a couple of people who, as vendors, who had wanted to be there, couldn't be there on the coming Sunday. On the coming Sunday. They were set for February 2nd. And, you couldn't do it. And of all of the vendors you had a couple of vendors who and I know it had to upset you. I don't eat that. but what they did. But you also, upon changing it, you found 3 new people who couldn't be there on the 2nd, who could be there on the 10th. So we made a negative to a couple of people and a positive to a couple other folks. I don't know how all of that washes out, but I know we're going to keep living. We're not going to go jump off a cliff.
But we're going to talk about it after the commercial. We got some.
That's a great idea, Tammy. Let's
y'all.
talk about this after the commercial.
Get this radio by 4. Go on to commercial.
But now it seems like things are finally coming.
I never planned on losing my job, but we all know life can change in an instant. And losing my family's health insurance was an even tougher pill to swallow. So I looked into Cobra, but too pricey. Then I found out I could enroll through Covered California, where I was able to choose from good health insurance companies I've actually heard of. I even got help paying for it.
There's a limited time to qualify after losing your insurance, so check out CoveredCA.com today. Covered California. It's more than just healthcare. It's life care.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
They're the first ones to be interviewed. This is Empire Talks Back. I am Wallace Allen. I'm here with Carl Guillaume and the dynamic Tammy Martin Riles. Okay, listen, we're talking about something that if you really want to get with it, go to the podcast and pick up the last 45 minutes because we're going to have to let it go. We just have to let it go. Is that, I'm not saying, there you go, thank you. Yeah. See, and when I say let it go, I mean let it go out into the wind where you guys deal with it. We have to deal with it. It is.
Can I share something real quick, Mr. Wallace?
Sure.
One thing that I always look at, always in business, I'm an entrepreneur, is everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. There's a storm here right now, but at the end of the day, everything is going to be all right.
My great friend Michael Young used to say, don't bring me no bad news.
Come on now. Okay. Everything's going to be all right.
As we were looking forward to the expo of the weekend, you know, there was people calling, it's going to rain. I know that they say it's going to rain, but don't bring me no bad news. If they said it's going to rain and it's going to rain, then let it stay there. I don't need you to add your weight and prayer for the rain. What? Prayer? Yeah, when you say it out loud, it becomes a prayer. So if you don't want it to happen, don't say it.
Say it. That's right.
What? Well, if you say things and they become true because you said them, became committed to them, moved until they occurred, then saying things is the opening to make things happen. Yep. So if you don't want it to rain, don't say it's going to rain. Not that you're in charge, but that your weight does, your opinion does have weight in the atmosphere. If you say it, it's going to land somewhere. I'll promise you, if you say, my kids are bad, oh, my wife is cheating, oh, my husband ain't no good, hey,
then it is.
They're going to move in that direction. Yeah. You wish for it, you pray for it. Now that you got what you want, do you want more?
Oh, Lord. Y'all, let me talk about this expo.
Okay, the expo. and yes.
February the 10th, we move it to the Sunday. Same bad time, same bad channel, everything. And the thing that will change is it's going to be even better.
Even better.
Even better.
Because we will know that the Rams won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
we will be even more excited.
And then Carl's going to go ahead and register his artwork. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Charles has got time to do that now. We have a friend at Spectrum Spa, Miss Holly, down in Ontario. Yes, and she, yesterday.
I got to tell you some stuff about Miss Holly. Now, when I went to, you guys, you got to go to Spa Spectrum because she's right. It is extremely clean. She has great workers in there. I forgot the girl that worked on me, but I am not really a pedicure person. I believe that do-it-yourself stuff. So, but I went in because I wanted to check it out, and I wanted to feel good about my Saturday, right?
Okay.
And then of the things that are going on, we can actually see in the camera. So therefore, when I went there, and let me tell you my great experience. When I went there, they did me up real good. Did my feet. They was looking all purty. You know what Miss Holly said? No, what did
she say, Tammy?
Tammy, just make sure you tip my girl. I said, what you mean? She goes, no. When you leave, just make sure you just tip my girl. You good with me. I was like, what? Yeah. She waited till I got the toenails painted and I'm under the dryer to tell me that. You know what I'm saying? So here's my thing. And that showed me compassion. I know we on the radio and everything, but she didn't have to do that.
That's right.
Holly is like the girl. She cool, dude. Holly is cool. That girl. Holly, we here. We are here. Now, here, you guys, y'all got to go. All y'all women out there, they do some good
Don't be sexist. The men
and
can do
men.
it too. You can get
And
the
men. There was a
facial.
man there when I left.
That's
he was
right.
there with his wife.
That's
and
right.
so they do massages.
And you can go without your wife.
They do everything. They do permanent eyebrows, permanent eyeliner.
Wow.
They do all the waxing. They do everything, anything and everything. I sat back in my chair that was massaging me the whole time as they was hooking me up.
I'm telling you.
Yes, this place is thebomb.com.
And she's freeway close.
And yes, right off the freeway. All you gotta do is turn and then get off on Archibald. As soon as you make a left, and then you're gonna turn left into that Stater Brothers Shopping
That's off
Center.
the 210. Off the 210, Archibald.
Yes.
Off the 210, south to 19th Street. Make a left, go into the Stater Brothers Center, and take your shoes off and your gloves
Anything
and, get
and
ready for
everything.
Yeah.
I got salt massages on my leg and my feet. I don't know if I got. They say they call it the classic or the Spectrum, Spa Spectrum manicure, or the deluxe. I think I got more than the deluxe.
Wow.
No, real talk, because they was on my feet for a long time. They was just massaging here. Then they got that heat rock. Did you hear that?
No.
The heat rock is.
If you guys have children listening, you may want to take them into the next room. This has entered an entirely different dimension.
No, the heat rock. They just rub the heat rock on your leg and your feet, and then it makes my whole leg and foot just.
Calm down, Tammy.
Okay, I'm coming on down.
Breathe deep. Ooh, my goodness.
Yes. So go and meet and then talk to Holly. Her and her wonderful workers.
Give
they
them
are
Holly's
funny.
phone number.
They are funny. Holly's phone number is 909-755-5375. It is 759 909. You know they distracted me. 909-755-5375. And that's Holly, 9768 19th Street, Spa Spectrum. She gonna see me again in 2 weeks.
Very good. We have a vendor fair coming up. It's done by Elder Cassandra Walker.
Yes.
It's going to be taking place at the Highland Congregational Church on Atlantic Boulevard. The thing is that she's looking for vendors. They will have a large audience. There's 2, 3, 4 churches involved. 2 or 3, 4 churches involved in terms of gathering the people. It's a fundraiser. She's going to be giving away free hot dogs. I know, Tammy, we ain't into that meat thing. And not free, but barbecue dinners.
Wait a minute. Let
Tammy,
me talk.
It's not too late.
No, I don't care. Let me talk.
No, let me finish.
Okay.
There could be a vendor there, maybe under the auspices of our suggestion, who will be serving another kind of food. Plant-based. We'll talk to Elder Walker about that possibility. I know. So
I see
my
on
point
here
is
Resurrection Ministry.
Resurrection Ministry.
You ain't gonna resurrect nobody with no barbecue and no hot dogs.
You are going to create a need to resurrect. Okay? So the first thing, before you can resurrect, you got to be down. This is what we've been talking about. Can you forgive? Can you forgive all of the bad eating habits you had and start anew and create a new body? Can you do that, Tammy?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, okay.
Let's go ahead and let them come
but I
here and
can't
eat the
wear
hot dogs and barbecue.
But I can't wear blackface and change, right?
And then
That's okay, I understand.
Let's bring them here. Have them hot dogs. We can identify the people.
They
We
could
can
be veggie
tell
hot dogs.
them hot dog folks. Them barbecue folks.
These could be plant-based hot dogs. Right. And you take me over to our plant-based restaurant here in Redlands.
Yes.
They have something that they will. When you look at their menu, they don't say it's plant. You could think that you're
Plant
getting.
power.
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
You could think that you were
Plant
getting a
power.
hamburger, a regular hamburger. You could think it's a regular hamburger when you order it. You could think it's a regular hamburger after you eat it.
Now
because that's how good it is. Maybe they will come out. Our point is there is a gathering. You as a vendor.
Yes.
You as a
come
vendor.
on out to the first
give them
annual
a call. No, don't
vendor
come
fair.
out. I'm not worried about the audience. I'm trying to get her some vendors to deal with all the people that are going to be there.
Well, then she need to come to my event, and then I think she's on my. She got a vendor booth. But no, this event sounds really good. I am going to.
What's her phone number so they can call
her
about
phone number,
the 909 number.
And you guys, all jokes. Nate, What's her?
No, call the lady
It says,
down there.
please call
Tracy.
Nanny.
Yeah, but no, call Tracy.
Okay,
It's a 909 number.
We're going to call Tracy. This is for the first annual vendor fair and fundraiser hosted by the Women's Resurrection Ministry in conjunction with the Central at Highland Church. Tracy, call her 909-520-9396. All jokes, you guys. This seems like a very, very wonderful event. Go out and represent. And I cannot pub my girl. Over.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let me finish that on womensresurrectionministry.org. You can, as a vendor, go to womensresurrectionministry.org, and all of the paperwork is there for signing up as a vendor. You really don't want to miss being a vendor at either the Super Expo or at the vendor fair that's taking place in Highland. So give the call to that number, and if you forgot the number, call Tammy and she'll give it to you later.
Oh, I wanted to talk about Riverside Convention Center, the
Red Dress Ball.
February the 23rd. While we're resurrecting, I'll be resurrecting after 2:00. But I'll be at the I'll be doing this after 2:00. But at the Riverside Convention Center, it is the Red Dress Luncheon.
Resurrection after
2. Because I'm gonna try to attend. But the Headdress Luncheon is from I think 9 to 3 or 9, somewhere around there. And I'm bringing this up, Wallace, because Wallace and myself will be there. Wallace will be
live streaming,
that's right. And we'll be sitting in the audience getting all of you guys.
No, I'll be in the audience. Tammy's going to be modeling.
I
Tell
will
the truth.
be modeling.
Tell the truth.
And let me tell you guys, I hate to brag and everything.
No, right. Hold it. Let me be sure that
do.
everyone is listening to this, because she brags so seldom that you might miss this. So write it down. Tammy today is going to brag.
I hate to brag, but I am going to rip the runway. Y'all already know
Rip
I'm not normal.
the runway.
I'm not normal. So I'm going to do me. You ain't going to see me stiff. Come out and see me wear that dress, because let me tell you something. When I wear it, you going to want to go buy it.
Fly.
All right?
Ooh, Tammy, don't be so
better
fly.
Catch it.
Do it, Tammy. Tammy Martin Rouse.
Tammy Martin Rouse.
She's
gonna be
rip the
ripping
runway. February 23rd at the Riverside Convention Center, the Red Dress Ball. I'll be there streaming live.
Yes.
And
getting all the WSS news.
That's right. So, and that's a family friendly thing.
That is a family friendly.
That's a family friendly dress you're gonna wear.
And you're gonna I ain't say that now. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay,
it's
Carl.
a surprise.
Hold it, Tammy. Carl is hoping that we go all the way through the show without weighing him in. Weighing him in. Carl,
I got you.
We started over a month ago. Okay, we started over a month ago. You weighed 202 pounds. How much do you weigh now?
We'll find out right now.
Okay.
Well, the last
we only
time
got 90 seconds.
Last time I was
Don't
at
try to make it a minute too.
I brought one of my guys with me, Bez Renhefel. He's here in the house. We have another couple people. My wife couldn't make it today. She had to take care of the kids.
45 seconds. He's trying to use them all up. He's trying to use them all up. He's using them all up.
I'm over here. I got the mic.
I'm going to tell you, we will be back next week.
Come on, hurry up.
Under two circumstances. One, if the good Lord's willing, the creek don't rise, and if Carl is losing weight correctly.
Let's go.
Okay.
We're going off air.
Hang in here, folks. How much is he weighing? Okay, we got 2 weigh-ins. This guy's getting, turn the camera on. We got a guy getting naked up in here. No, he stopped. He stopped at his show.
Okay, and
he's going to weigh in. Okay,
he's at 189.
Carl's at 189. 185?
189.
He has gained 3 pounds.
Oh, go ahead.
He's got to come back. He's got it.
Well, I said 20 15.
How much time do we have?
Okay.
How many? Okay,
let's get on.
Quickly.
There we go.
You're going to have to wait next week to find out how Carl's
he started at 265 and he is now
255.
He is now 249.
249. Okay.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
Update starts now.
Countdown to kickoff, 4.5 hours away from kickoff of Super Bowl 53 down in Atlanta. For LA, now back-to-back NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Aaron Donald says you need to bring your A game.
This is the big dance, playing great football all year, but this is the last one. You got to play your best football. This is the biggest stage, the biggest stage I ever played on. So we just got to keep playing football at a high level. Don't forget what got us here, but, leave everything out there one more time. One more game, opportunity to be a world champion.
Meanwhile, for Tom Brady, despite it being his 9th appearance in the big game, he's not taking it for granted.
I think when you've been in the position I've been in, you just count your blessings every day. And I've just been a part of so many great teams that have had the opportunity to play in this game, and it is once in a lifetime, the experience. But we've just been fortunate to play enough or play good enough in the playoffs to advance and then get to play in this game. And it's hard to believe that this is the 9th time doing this.
Kickoff from Mercedes-Benz Stadium at 6:30. Last night, the 2019 class of the Pro Football Hall of Fame was announced. 8 new inductees headed for Canton. Ed Reed, Champ Bailey, Ty Law, Tony Gonzalez, Kevin Mawai, your modern era finalists. Johnny Robinson, your senior inductee, and contributors Gil Brandt and Pat Bolin. College football news, Florida State quarterback DeAndre Francois has been dismissed from the team. This coming from a statement from head coach Willie Taggart. Just 3 games on the NBA schedule. The Knicks hosting the Grizzlies currently at Madison Square Garden. Second quarter winding down. The Knicks with a slim 33-28 lead. Get all of your scores on the NBC Sports Scores app. Coming up in moments, it's the Celtics and Thunder from Boston. And then about an hour from now, the Raptors and Clippers from Toronto. Hockey on NBC TV. The Bruins with a 1-0 lead over the Capitals. Second period action from Washington. And golf, Ricky Fowler still atop the leaderboard at the Waste Management Phoenix Open, 20 under par. I'm Scott Seidenberg, NBC Sports Radio.
Welcome to the Tom Hartman Program. I'm live right here, Monday through Friday.
Are you ready for the #1 progressive talk show host in America?
71% of people say that the information they get from their friends and family, they take more seriously than the stuff they read in the media. Only 42% of Americans think the media is the most credible source of news. And therefore, if you're informed, if you're awake, you need to be telling your friends.